Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about the transactions in SQL. A transaction is a logical unit of work that contains one or more SQL statements. A transaction is an atomic unit. The effect of all the SQL statements in a transaction can be either all committed or all rollback. A transaction begins with the first executable SQL statement. A transaction ends when it is committed or rollback, either explicitly with a commit or rollback statement or implicitly when DLL statement is issued. So first we will learn why we are using the transactions. If you will look that, take the example of a bank. Once you are going to transfer money to one account to another account, if you will not use a transaction, just like say if you want to transfer that one account to another account, so if you do not use transaction, that means that if something will fail, if your transaction, if you, that will happen, if your account will be deducted, but other account it will be not deposited. So there is a, if you, there is a between in the transaction there is some failure, it's happened. So that kind of things it will handle by the transaction. So there are three things in mostly in a transaction. First it will be begin transaction, second is a rollback transaction, third one is a commit transaction. Once you will start with begin transaction, that means the transaction is going to start. If something is failure is happen in between the transaction, then you can do with the rollback. So automatically it will be rollback all the data within the transactions. If it's a successfully happens, means like say your in the account it's deducted by another account also it's added, that means you can use it in commit transactions. Let's see in examples. Open the SQL Server. Mostly it's happening that if anything goes wrong with any of the grouped statements, all changes need to be aborted. The process of reversing changes is called a rollback in SQL Server terminology. If everything is in order with all statements within a single transaction, all changes are recorded together in the database. In SQL Server terminology, we say that these changes are committed to the database. Let's connect to the database. Open the database probably. So here I have two tables. One is the sales tables, that is a header table, you can say that, and another one is a sales item table. So in that table, you can see that there is a sale ID, barcode, and customer, and that with the foreign key of that in the sale.item table, there is a sale ID. So both are not nullibles. If you will check, if you open that one, null value will not allow because that all the columns are not null. In the same like a sale.items tables, if you look that one, it's a not null. So once you are going to purchase something, so first it will insert into sale.details tables, then it will be insert into sale.items tables. Let's see. Open a new query. I write a one SQL statement. Barcode. First column is the barcode, and second will be the customer. So value I'm going to insert, that is a 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is a barcode, but customer name is J. So I'm creating one variable, that is a sale ID. It will be integer. So I want to know the identity, then set sale ID, then you can write that select dot scope identity, so you will get that identity which one is inserted. So another one, it's a reference table that you insert into table name is sale.items, and column is sale ID, item ID, sale ID item, price, quantity, and total. So value will be sale ID will be this sale ID I'm going to insert, and item if you want you can see that mango, and price if you make it 20, quantity will be 4, and total will be 80. Just see if you will insert that one, it will be insert correctly, like 2 row affected. So once you will check the data, one more table. Now you can see the data inserted successfully. Now if you will make a condition, if some once is written like that, if you want to remove this one, just sale ID remove. So because it's a foreign key, so it's a required field, it's not nullable value. If you will try to insert this one, this condition, because I know that here it's going to be fail, but till now we are not using any transaction. So what's the problem you will face once you are not going to use the transaction? In some conditions, if you will use in some scenario that something will happen and another table it's going to be failed to insert. So what will happen? Just run it. See that it's inserted. One row is affected and another one is saying they cannot insert the null into the sale ID table. This one is this table. So let's check that what's and it's happening in that table. See, that's the problem is coming because one is inserted but another table is not affected. But you can see that one, it's not affected. That's the problem you will face that once you are not going to use that transaction. So how you will use that transaction? So it's a simple. If you will write that one, you can handle that one. First you will handle that error also. So you can see that what's the error. Begin try. So here you will have to write that begin transaction. You will starting the transactions, and here you are going to, if it's everything is successful, then you are going to commit the transaction, right? This one is you are going to commit transactions. Now here it will be in try. Now again you are going to open that one begin catch, because you already used that begin try. So here you are used to use that begin catch, and here you can write the commit, sorry, rollback. Rollback transaction. Then indicate, and you can write print that one error. Now if you will run in the last scenario when we face that with that error, same scenario we are using with that begin transaction with the user for transaction. So let's run that one. Now you can see here 1 row affected and 0 row affected, its message here coming. Then here you can see that error happens. See, it's like it's a rollback. Now if you will run that one, see there is no data came because first inserted in that sale dot details table in memory. Once you are going to use that transaction, so first it will insert into memory only. Finally, once you are going to commit, then it will be update into database. So here you can see that first it will be inserted, but what happened? It's a error came. So it's a rollback the data. It's a reverse that all those data. I can see here. One more thing is that that trans count. If you use that, because you can use that nested transaction also. So before the real processing start, the begin transaction statement notifies the SQL server to treat all the following action as a single transaction. This one, these two are as a process as a single transaction. It is followed by a two insert statement. One is that sale.details and another one is the sale.items. If no error occurs during the updates, all the changes are committed to the database when SQL Server processes the commit transaction statement, and finally the store procedure finishes. If an error occurs during the insert, it is detected by if statement and execution continues from the problem level. After the displaying message to the user, SQL Server rollbacks any changes that occur during the processing. So if now we are going to write like a cell ID, and here you can write like a cell ID. So now it's everything is okay here. So now we are going to execute. Let's see, six two row affected. Now you can see here that all those data. Now it's inserted that one, and here also you can see that data is inserted because there is a no error happen. So one more thing is that is a trans count. So trans count, if anything is started, like just begin transaction, one transaction is started, so at that time trans count will be 1. If you will write that, select star star this one, and finally after commit check that one, because the trans count value will come. So first it's happened that trans count is 1 and next one is 0. It's a once you are going to start that any transactions, that times trans count will be 1, and once you are going to commit transaction, then trans count will be 0. If you will look with a nested transaction, just like open the new query, you started one being trans. Okay. Inside of the begin trans, one more begin trans will be there. And inside that again begin trans. So now we are going to commit trans or commit trans. One more is there. Commit trans. Now one more is here. Finally it will become rollback. So how that trans count will work? If we will look at this one, trans count. Okay, so trans count here, once it's started, so that times here the trans count will be 1. So here next it will be 2. This one it will be trans count will be 3. Now you are going to commit transactions, so it will be decreased like that. Here it will be 2, then here it will be 1, and finally it will be 0. If anything will happen, that error will happen in that any transaction, same time it will go to the rollback transaction, and the trans count here, if you will, here it will be 0. So now it's a, I think I hope it's a clear for you trans count how it's a, once you are going to start that transaction, begin transaction, that trans count is increasing. It start from 1. Then again if we are using the nested transaction, then it will be true and 3. If we are going to commit transaction, then it will be decreased like that. Begin transaction is incrementing and commit transaction is decrementing. But in the rollback situation, trans count automatically it will become as a 0. One more thing in that transaction is that save trans and save point. Save points offer a mechanism to roll back portions of a transaction. A user can set a save point or a marker within a transaction. The save points define a location to which a transaction can return if part of the transaction is conditionally cancelled. SQL Server allows you to use save point via the save trans statement, which does not affect the trans count. A rollback to a save point does not affect the value returned by a trans count either. However, the rollback must explicitly name the save point. Another thing we will study that error handling. So one error handling is like that symbol double at the rate this one. So we'll check that how to use this one, that value. So here that, so first you will add that one, cell ID, and here also we'll check the cell ID. So we'll check that one error. That error is like that. The error automatic variables is used to implement error handling code. It contains the error ID produced by the last SQL statement executed during a client connection. When a statement executes successfully, error contains 0. So we'll check that one. This one. So here we'll check that select statement will be. We're going to remove that trans count. Not required. If it's a successfully, then error will return 0. Just execute that one. See, the error is returning 0. If successfully added, just will check the data. 7. This one is 7. Successfully added. Again, we'll check that one. We'll take another data. And here, instead of mango, we will write that apple. Price will be 30. 4 quantity. 120. Now execute. Now you can see that error value is coming 0 because no error is happened. We'll check the data. Now it's inserted 8, and this one is apple. Let's produce some error. So we are going to remove this one, cell ID, and this cell ID. Let's check that one, and the other data is same. So what's the error value will return? Just execute that one. Right click and execute. See, one row affected. Its error happened because of the here. Once we are going to write here, so here also this one is a successful. This one is here going to be successful. So here also it will return that one 0. See that it's coming that 0. But if you will write here, because here that error is producing, so once you will write here that one, so you can check that one. So error value will be not 0. So it's coming that 515. If it's an error code, this value will greater than 0 means something's error happened. If it's a 0, it will successfully added and data is committed. I hope it's clear. Thanks for watching.